Welcome back. Pointed at yourself, man. Come on, we're not that out of practice already. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are 1 week out from the eye surgery, and I'll be back in glasses for a while. The recovery process from that can be rather drawn out and involved, so we just have to follow all of the doctor's instructions. What they ended up finding was a partially detached retina, so that was an issue, as I stated before, that was kind of on my radar anyhow, and sure enough, that's what it ended up being. So they did not do any laser treatments. What they opted to do was the kind of the least invasive approach, where they put a silicone band around the eyeball permanently. That will stay there for the rest of my life. And they also injected a gas bubble inside of my eye so that it can put or apply pressure to the retina from the inside and hopefully keep everything together until everything bonds again and returns to normal. So the first 3 days of the recovery, I was basically incapacitated. I had to maintain a consistent sideways left-handed head tilt the whole time, and couldn't move around, couldn't really do anything. And for the first 7 days following the procedure, I can't bend over straight. I have to go straight up and down with my knees. I can't lift more than 20 pounds. I can't really twist. I can't really crane my head. I can't lay flat on my back. They still want me to sleep flat on my left side at all times. So I've been pretty much down for an entire week, and I'm going crazy because I'm not built to sit. But I wanted to follow the instructions to the T because I only want to have to do this once, get through it as quickly as possible, and get back up to speed. The eye still looks a bit ugly. It's normal to have it look pretty red for up to 2 weeks following the procedure, so that's nothing to worry about. The band around my eye, though, distorts it. So that means I am even more nearsighted now in my right eye than I was before. So that means my glasses don't really fit this eye anymore. So everything on this side is fuzzy. Everything on this side is still clear. That's really a brain teaser when it comes time to focus on things, close up to far away. I can really feel all of the muscles around my eye socket are really straining, learning how to do everything in a slightly different manner. So I have my 1 week follow-up appointment with the surgeon that performed the operation tomorrow, and then he will tell me how things look and let me know what my restrictions will be from this point on based on what he sees. We're hoping for a good report. So thinking good thoughts, and thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone for all the kind wishes and well wishes going through it. So far, it seems like everything has been proceeding according to plan. So that's some good news. So that's the update for my condition. I can do a few viewer Q&A. Answer. We're out of practice here already. I can answer a few viewer questions. That's something that we can throw together real quick right here for an episode, and hopefully just give y'all something to watch in the coming days. So let's jump into it. Probably the most commonly asked question that I have seen in the last week to 2 weeks is, are you going to attend any more tractor shows this year? And honestly, I don't know. I'm pretty much at the mercy of the eye doctor at this point. I still can't even go outside without bandaging and gauzing this eye over because they don't even want dust to enter it. Plus not being able to really see and focus until I get the clear to go get a new updated prescription for eyeglasses. It's really difficult to be out and about and be in sunlight and try to focus on things and see. So again, depending on what the doctor tells me in these coming days is going to dictate if I'm going to be seen anywhere at a tractor show for the rest of the year. Another common question that I have seen come up a few times in this last week is, did you just get burned out on the Farmall H and decide that you had to step away from it for a while? Because I haven't seen any forward progress on it for some weeks now. Those of you that keep up with the channel and watch every episode know exactly why I had to step away from the H. I keep everyone apprised of all the goings on. So if you watch every episode and every episode in its entirety, I can tell a lot of people barely watch half of each one. So unless you're watching the full episode, you're having to come back and ask questions that I've already explained. So to recap, my goal for this tractor was to have it done by July 4th of this year. I found too many unexpected mechanical problems, the cracked cylinder head being the major one that set me back. And I knew that if this project extended beyond July 4th, I was going to be in a time crunch for the whole rest of the summer. So the whole month of August, I stepped away from this tractor because I had made prior commitments to 2 different tractor shows to have tractors at those shows and display them. And I knew that getting everything ready for the shows, attending the shows, and then getting back and putting everything away from the shows and then repeating the process for the second batch, for the second go around, was going to occupy my entire month of August. That's why I've been off of this pretty much the entire month of August. And then as we finished up the second tractor show, I started having the issues with my eye, which has now rolled me into being down on basically medical restriction for this recovery process. And that's been another 2 weeks. So we've been about 6 weeks away from it all told, except for the last episode where we took some dents out of that grill and fitted that. And it's up in the air still as to when I'm going to get back to this. So what was supposed to be a quick first half of summer project, if I don't get back to painting by the end of October, I'm going to be down weather-wise for probably another 5 to 6 months as we wait for winter to pass, and then it's finally warm enough outside again to do that type of work. So that's why we have not been on the H. It's not because I haven't wanted to, it's because life things have just been getting in the way. And another thing, I want to mention playlists. It's amazing how many people ask questions on the channel that could have been found in the playlist for the project that they have been viewing the episodes of. A lot of people don't seem to even realize that playlists are a thing. So if you aren't aware of playlists, every project on the channel, every machine like Farmall H, Caterpillar D2, RD6, blah, 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 I have pre-organized into different playlists of only that subject matter. So if you want to know everything about the Farmall H, go to the Farmall H playlist, and all of the episodes of anything with this project have already been compiled in order from start to most current. You can just start at the top of the list, go down and start watching, or you can search that list for just the episode you might be looking for. So everyone, the most underutilized feature on the channel that I see is playlists. I highly suggest you go click on that page. It's a tab around the main channel page or a channel heading, and just go over there. It's like a one-stop shop for whatever you may be wanting to see. Another question, Rock Island asks, do you attend many shows outside of Minnesota? It would be nice to see you at the Half Century of Progress this year in Rantoul, Illinois. And of course, that is a bit of an older comment. I've just been saving it for an episode such as this. And yeah, Pete from Just a Few Acres Farm emailed me also wondering if I would be at Rantoul this year. I pretty much already decided that having it be so close to the Now Then show and a wrap up from that, I wasn't going to be able to make it, and then this happened, and that has me grounded. So aside from that, I would like to see the Half Century of Progress show sometime. It looks like it's an amazing event, but Squatches don't travel very often. If I get far enough away from home to not be able to turn back around at midday and end up back at home that evening, for me, that's a long, long, long way from home, and I don't travel that far very often at all, maybe once every 5 to 10 years, maybe. As far as attending or displaying at any tractor shows outside of state, I've pretty much made the decision years ago that I am not interested in hauling anything on my trailer across the Minnesota state line, because everything, you're dealing with DOT and you have all this other stuff that, and then you're so far away from home, you have problems or breakdowns. It's a fiasco. I prefer to stay within my own familiar territory. That way, if I have trouble, I'm usually never more than 30 minutes away from like a friendly harbor, if you will. I know people pretty much all around the state, and if I had any real problems, I'm not that far away from help should I need assistance. And like I said, just the DOT factor alone dissuades me from putting anything on a trailer and going beyond the state line. So as far as displaying at shows, I've only ever done shows within the state of Minnesota, and unless I hire something to be hauled and can make it somebody else's problem, it's likely going to stay that way. And I think we'll wrap it up with this one because the old eyeball's starting to talk to me a little bit. But Dustin McIntosh says, off topic, but do you ever do any tractor pulls with all of your toys? Would love to see the D2, Super M, and X253 hooked onto the sled. No, I personally have never done a tractor pull, and not trying to sound like negative Nancy, but I don't think I ever will. Because I don't like being in front of people. It might sound odd. Right now, I'm just in front of a camera. If there's a crowd around, I'd rather not be in front of the crowd. That's just the way I've always been. The second part of it is, it's not really my thing. I can watch 2 or 3 pulls on the track, and then I'm kind of satisfied I've seen all that I really need to see, and I go wander off and look at something else where it's not really my deal. This is not me knocking the people that choose to do it, because everyone is free to conduct business with their machines however they will. But to me, it's like, you take like the Farmall H is just an example. Anything I've done to meticulously return something back to 100% spec, or as close to it as you can get, just to go hook it onto a sled and flog the daylights out of it, I've never really had that urge. So I know that they can take it and all this stuff, but it's like when I'd watch the hot rod shows growing up, and they build this incredible machine, and the first thing they always wanted to go do was burn the back tires right off of it. That was the first thing they did before they even drove it. I've never understood that urge to put something through a traumatic event like that. I know the forces involved between the pinion gear and the ring gear, and in a scenario like that, the only thing that they want in the universe is to push apart from one another and just be done with it. I can't do it. I would come the closest, if I would ever pull anything, I would come the closest to doing it with some of the Caterpillars, because I know for a fact Caterpillar designed all of those vintage 1930s, 40s, 50s era crawlers to be loaded up at the drawbar to the point where they will break traction and spin the tracks under the weight of the bare machine and not hurt anything in the drivetrain. I know specifically from an engineering standpoint, they have even stated they were built for that. So pulling a Caterpillar wouldn't bother me a bit. I don't think any of my wheel tractors are ever going to do it. I know X253, the prototype crawler, wouldn't do it, because that has such weak steering clutches in it, it can barely pull itself up the ramp of the trailer. You'd put a sled on that and it would pretty much probably go 4 feet and then just decide to go, and the clutches would just slip, and there we sit. X253, we've already stated how that thing has been so shattered and broken in the past and put back together that I couldn't bring myself to put it through any type of adversity at all. So don't expect to see me out on a pull track either. So that pretty much rounds it out. I'm gonna go rest the eyeball, and then we'll throw this together for y'all, and hoping everything goes well at the doctor's check tomorrow. This is good exercise for the old eye. Gets me focusing near to far. I'm supposed to be doing things like this, but within reason. Thank you again, everyone, and I hope to see y'all back.